이곳은 미국의 펜실베이니아 주립대. 여기에서 한국에 대한 강의가 시작되는데요. 큰 강의실이 학생들로 가득 찬 모습입니다.
Let's go. I'm really super excited about today's class, and we have a really special guest, and three special guests, but one who's particularly special. And
이 사람은 오늘 강의를 맡은 샘리처드 교수님입니다. 학생들에게 오늘 강의를 소개하는데요.
I'm always trying to talk about things that many of us here haven't thought about. And today is one of those things in particular. That is, the title of today's class is Catch the Korean Wave. And we're going to start by, first off, I need a volunteer. I need maybe a couple volunteers from Korea who, I know I got you. How about,
손들고 있던 이 학생이 오늘 발표를 하게 됐습니다.
we know you're rocking. What's your name, man?
My name's Ruben.
Ruben, here. Ruben? What's your Korean name?
Woojin.
Woojin?
Yeah.
How did I do?
Say it again.
Woojin.
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 Yeah, that's pretty. That's
Close
better.
enough?
Yeah.
You're not really, I'm sure. But, bro, next slide. Can you answer this question?
약간 어려웠던 이름 소개가 끝나고 질문으로 이어지는데요.
Korea is cool.
Korea is cool because
Yo, wait, hang on. We're starting.
we got kimchi, we got K-pop, we got bulgogi, we got good shit.
Dude, first off, hang on. Good shit. Wait, how do you say good shit in Korean?
Good shit in Korean. I don't know actually.
How do you say we got good shit?
한국이 멋진 이유를 갑작스럽게 말하려니 여간 당황스러운 게 아니었습니다.
Yo, I'm blanking. Hold up. Can I give like a slang version?
Yeah, slang version.
There's 멋있다 or like. Hold up.
Like, imagine your grandmother is watching, so don't say anything.
Okay. My grandma's watching.
Yeah.
We got good shit in Korea.
Okay.
우리 한국에 좋은 거 있습니다. 한국 좋아요.
Yeah. Listen, what he just said right there is we're actually going to take over the world. So, hey, listen, so what's kimchi? Help us out.
Kimchi's it's a traditional food. It's made with lettuce and like spices and it's like
Dude,
red.
lettuce or cabbage?
Oh, cabbage.
Sorry, let me help you out, my friend. All right.
Thank you.
What else, man? What else you got?
We also have some pretty cool like traditional culture. Like we got dramas, K-dramas.
Yeah. What's K-dramas?
Yeah.
As in Korean. So when you say K, the K
Yeah.
before, so folks who don't know, you just use that as like Korean
It
drama.
stands for Korean, yeah.
So when you say K-pop,
Korean pop music.
got you.
Yep.
Okay. What's a K-drama?
K-drama. Well, there's a lot of versions of it, but the most popular one I'd say is the rom-com, romantic comedy.
질문하려다 말고 다급하게 막아서는 교수님.
Like when you say it's cool, Korea's cool because, like, what's special about that?
We got good-looking dudes and good-looking girls
Yeah.
performing dramatic scenes on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like they're thinking if it's not porn, like what's the
No,
point?
no. We actually don't have that. It's actually banned in Korea.
Banned in Korea?
Yeah.
Porn is?
Yeah.
No kidding.
No, it's banned.
Is that why? Oh, never mind. All right. So, dude, so what else you got? How about like technology? Like what else is
give me
like
some
really
help.
awesome?
Give me help.
Like, okay, you said K-pop.
Uh-huh.
So what do you?
What do you
What's
mean?
cool about K-pop?
K-pop. Special effects.
Yeah.
Cool dance groups. I think we have KPMD coming up next.
Yeah.
Those dances are real
A
cool.
lot of dance.
Yep.
A lot of.
Yep.
So if you were to try to convince Penn State students to go to Korea for a study abroad instead of going to like London or Paris or
Yeah.
whatever, what would you say in
Okay.
2 sentences?
Okay. One thing. Penn State has a partnership with Yonsei University. That's one of the top 3 universities in Korea. So you get to study there if you do a study abroad.
People speak English?
Yeah, they're all good at English.
Yeah.
They have an English course like in Korean high
So
school.
you could go there and you could go if you don't speak any Korean and
Yeah,
you could study
exactly.
abroad.
Yep.
Dude, all right, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
오진 학생의 발표가 끝나고 다음으로 넘어가려는 그때 누군가의 목소리가 들립니다.
Hey, wait,
Yo.
let's bring
Hold on. On the chat, they said Korean tacos.
Korean tacos.
Yo,
Yo.
these things look freaking awesome.
Yo, they do look awesome. Man. Korean tacos. Hey, Joy, can you come out? So y'all have met Joy. Joy is one of our stream producers. Yo, what's up?
코리안 타코에 빠진 조이의 소개가 끝나기 무섭게 누군가 들어오는데요.
Hipster fan of Korea. So answer that
Big
question.
hipster.
Korea is cool because.
한국에 푹 빠졌다는 이 학생에게도 갑자기 말하긴 어려운 질문이었나 봅니다.
Makeup. I like Korean style makeup. It's a little bit different, softer. What else are you cool for? Colors.
Wait, do
flowers.
you use Korean style makeup?
No, this is not it.
All right, but you like it.
Yes.
So you like it, but
I mean,
you don't
I
use
noticed. I mean, like Korean people are really distinctive, or at least from me, to my eyes, like on campus. You could tell when you see the Chinese students, Japanese students, and the Korean students. There's just a different type of style. I appreciate the fashion, I think. Not that it's made for me
it. Yeah.
as a bigger person, but I like it.
So you like the makeup, you like the fashion. Think it's
Food's
hip.
great.
Yeah. What else?
Skincare.
Dude, yeah, you were talking about that the other day.
Yes.
지금은 생각이 잘 나지 않지만 한국의 모든 걸 좋아한다 말하는데요.
Good class today.
Uh, music.
Oh yes, music. I mean, that's pretty much it. I was one of those people that eat, sleep, and breathe K-pop and K-dramas, and just like had the merchandise, learned to dance, had our OTPs, just like in it.
So do you watch K-dramas?
Yeah,
Yeah. Subtitle.
of course.
And what is it about them that you like?
Kind of like telenovelas, like Korean, like K-dramas have their own dramatic shit. Like, it's their own. It has their own style. There's just something about it that kind of pulls you in, and specifically with certain ones, like popular ones, or at least years ago, like Boys Over Flower. The appeal is like the way their superstars are in everything. So acting is one of them. So it's just one of those additional ways where, as a fan, a fanatic, you get to just absorb something that has their face in it, I think.
Dude, cool, man.
대답을 잘 못했을까봐 걱정하는 학생.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool.
두 번째 학생의 발표가 끝나고 이번엔 교수님의 이야기가 시작됩니다.
I'm going to tell you why I think you should pay attention to Korea, why it would be really wise, and why it would be really wise if you're thinking about looking forward in the world. If you want to be forward looking and not backward looking, you pay attention to Korea. You pay attention to China. You pay attention to the East. And it's just amazing, quite fascinating how for somebody like me who studies, who's really interested in world history and is interested in the rise and fall of nations and cultures and the rise and the fall and the rise and the fall, I am 100% convinced that the next rise is in the East. It's in Southeast Asia. No question about it. And if I had children, my children would be studying about Korea and China. They'd be learning Korean. They'd be learning Mandarin. I would be sending them to study abroad in Seoul, not to Rome, not to Paris, not to London. I would be, listen, go for it. You want to be part of the future of the world? You go east. Think east. Imagine east. If I were running a university, these would be the language programs that would be blowing up. These would be the cultural programs, the things that we'd be studying, because I'd want my students to be looking forward. Look, let me just show you a couple of things. I know we don't like numbers. GDP, gross domestic product. So this is the sum total of all the finished goods and services that come out of a country. The finished goods and services, including things that are sold internally and that are sold externally. And let me show you this. In 1965, in the UK, the GDP in the UK was $100 billion. In South Korea, it was $3.1 billion. South Korea was a poor country. Like poor. The GDP in Ghana in 1965 was higher. The GDP in Algeria in 1965 was higher than in South Korea. The GDP in Malaysia, in countries all over the world that I could list them out and you would say, wow, those are really poor countries, were higher than in South Korea. In 2019, the GDP in the UK is 2.8 trillion, and in South Korea, it's actually about 1.6 trillion.
그 어떤 나라보다 가난했던 한국이 이렇게 성장할 수 있었던 방법으로 국민들의 노력과 함께 기업의 이야기를 하기 시작했습니다.
South Korea blew up. Things happened in a really, really serious way. Probably in the history of the world, in my study, in my understanding of the world, there's never been a country that has been able to do what South Korea has done economically. Never has happened. And if you want to it's just like thinking about where the future is. You don't go backwards. If I said, hey, we want to think about the future of energy. And here's what we need to do. We need to reopen a bunch of coal mines in the United States. You'd be thinking, man, you're like looking backwards. In fact, you're looking so backwards, you're looking inside of a closet somewhere. And what are you talking about, coal mines? That's not the future of energy in the world. And you want to know what the future of technology and commerce and moving forward, you start looking in this direction. Utterly fascinating. Dude, I have nothing in particular. There's nothing about Korea or China or anything that I feel like somehow connected to. I'm an American. I'm just a person that's looking at this stuff. So here, let me show you one thing. So the Koreas, how many of you have heard of this word? Whoa, okay. So you're going to get something today. So the Koreans,
한류와 관련된 수업인 만큼 대부분 학생들이 한류라는 말을 알고 있었는데요.
did something really, really fascinating. First off, just in terms of commerce, right? You know Samsung, right? So that's a Korean company, LG, Korean company. I mean, we can go Hyundai. I mean, there are all sorts of car technology companies. So it's all Korean. In 40 to 45 years, 50 years, that has happened. Okay? But the Koreans also had some other idea. And they said, look, we can try to compete in the world economically. But, we got to go up against some countries that are way further advanced than we are. And we're going to take a risk if we put all of our eggs in that basket. And we can do that. It'll be really interesting, and we'll probably go much further than we would if we didn't do anything. But it's still a bit of a risk. But there's one area of the world where we could exert our power in ways that nobody's necessarily looking, and it's a wide open space. So the automobile industry is really dominated by a small group of people. The Americans, the Europeans, the Japanese, by the time you get to the 1970s and so on. The electronics industry, okay, we can start busting into that a little bit, but there are all these other clothing industries, all sorts of. But the one industry that we could bust into is the cultural industry. And so I had this idea. This is a Chinese word, and it means literally Korean wave. And what the Koreans said was, you know what we could do? We could put our energy into culture, selling culture and getting other people to consume culture, including consume our culture. And we'll focus on television, we'll focus on music, we'll focus on movies, we'll focus on any number of things that where we can put our energy, and we'll sell it to the world. And that's wide open because people are going to consume the kinds of things that are really interesting to them. And so the Koreans did that. They started what's called the Korean wave, which is where, so if you have the idea that, like this guy, the singer Psy, or all these K-pop bands, this idea that this just emerged out of nowhere, it didn't emerge out of nowhere. It was a very distinct, concerted effort on the part of the Korean government and the Korean people to push these ideas in this culture out around to the rest of the world and get the rest of the world to consume and to buy it. So they would do things like the telenovela, the Korean version of the telenovela, right? And the Korean version of the television shows and the series, to not just direct them to the world, but actually focus their energy very specifically on certain parts of the world where the rest of the entertainment industry wasn't focusing, like other parts of East Asia, like parts of Eastern Europe, Africa, even South America, and moving forward, not just translating or using subtitles, but actually directing, making series, making videos, making programs that are directly for particular audiences, as a way to get those audiences to buy in, giving people things that they've never had before and never seen before. And so something like K-pop didn't just emerge out of nowhere. It was years and years and years of very careful crafting and very careful movement forward. Utterly fascinating. And now it's this global phenomenon that people all over the world are consuming and buying and being fascinated by. And it happened just like this. Like even, so the one of the K-pop bands, BTS, was at the music awards last year. And, 3 years ago, I came into this class and I said, hey, how many of you know BTS? And like 10 hands went up in the air. And then last year, after BTS was at the music awards in the United States, about a month later I came into the class and I said, hey, how many of you have heard of BTS? And almost the entire class raised their hand. And that's how quickly this stuff happens. And so there's a movement, this Hallyu, the Korean wave. Have you ever been on the ocean? I was saying this a little bit earlier today. You ever been at the ocean and you're sort of getting up out of the water and you turn your back on the sea? You never turn your back on the sea, y'all, right? You never turn your back on the sea, but you do, and you're sort of standing on the edge and you're not noticing, and waves will just come crashing over you and knock you over and throw you up on the shore. There's a certain sense in which that's what's happening and has been happening in the world for the past 20 plus years. This Hallyu, this Korean wave, has just been sort of pounding up and people aren't really paying attention.
한류는 한자어지만 일본에서 시작된 단어입니다. 대만 방송에서 한국 음악이나 드라마를 대대적으로 방영하면서 인기가 치솟게 되었고, 이후 한국 문화 콘텐츠를 한류라 부르기 시작한 건데요. 해외에서는 한류를 일본식이 아니라 한자 그대로 해석해 코리안 웨이브라 부르며 거센 물결이나 파도에 비유하고 있습니다. 강의가 조금 어려워질 때쯤 사진 한 장을 보여주자 강의실은 다시 활기를 되찾게 됩니다.
Take a look at this dude, man. Right? Hey, how do you pronounce his name, by the way? Baekhyun? Baekhyun. So look at this guy here, right? So
방금 전과 확연히 다른 반응을 보이는 학생들.
So there's this movement in pop, in Korean pop, of male features. This dude's cool. Men, right? Men in here, right? This dude is a dude that Korean women find really sexy and handsome. Got it? Here's a dude. And so look at him. Look at what he's got. Makeup. So we got makeup. We have dyed hair. We have soft features, right? We have lips that are pronounced. You got to see that. And there are a lot of dudes right now here. Here, let me show you another one. Here we go again. Got it?
이번엔 더 큰 반응을 보이는데요.
And you look at here. And you got the abs. All this. Got to have the abs. Because that's the macho thing. Right? So here's the deal. You ready?
아직 들을 준비가 안 된 듯한 이 학생. 그렇게 한참 더 지나서야 다시 강의를 이어갈 수 있었습니다.
So this dude is like the classic K-pop guy. right? And if you look at all these K-pop stars and one after another, you know, you see these photos and you see the guys are all the same and they're handsome. They're cute and they're handsome. And they're considered to be really, really attractive, and not just by 18-year-olds and 15-year-olds, but by 30, 40, and 50-year-olds. So what it means is in the West, you can be a guy in the West and be thinking, yeah, no, that's not really cool.
아까 학생들과는 다른 반응을 보이는 이 학생들.
And here you got, let me just walk you through something, men. You got a movement in the world called K-pop, driven by a culture that is unlike any culture we've ever seen in the world, where the essence and the style of masculinity, of cool guys, cool men, are guys like this.
믿지 못하는 학생들이 많은 것 같은데요. 교수님은 그 이유를 이어 말했습니다.
What makes you think that this dude isn't going to be the style in the United States in 30 years? What makes you think that you're going to have kids, that you won't have kids? Or imagine this, that you have boys and your girls come home and this is the kind of guy they're interested in. And if you think like, no, that's not possible because we're still into macho-ness and beards and so on. It's like, remember this, the Korean wave, you're standing on the shore, you got your back to the ocean, and the Korean wave might be ready to just knock you over because you have no idea of what's coming. It's awesome, man. So here, this is BTS. This is the band that really has put K-pop on the charts. Look at these guys. This is the future. And I'm going to put my money on the idea that this trend where these men represent the future of masculinity in many parts all over the world is probably very likely to happen. How many of you, raise your hands again, find these men to be particularly attractive? Raise your hands. Okay. Awesome.
몇몇은 손든 학생들이 보이네요. 앞으로는 손든 학생들이 점점 더 많아질 것 같은데요. 이번 강의는 샘리처드 교수님의 강의가 이제 막 한국에 알려지려 했던 때의 강의입니다. 일부분은 어디선가 조금씩 봤던 부분들이 있었을지도 모릅니다. 하지만 샘리처드 교수님은 한류의 성공을 일찌감치 예언했었기에 우리는 그가 생각했던 한류의 성공 이유를 알아야 했습니다. 오늘 강의를 보셨다시피 학생들의 반응도 최근 강의와는 조금 다른 것 같기도 했는데요. 강의 마지막에 있었던 한국 K-팝 아이돌의 매력을 이제는 알겠냐는 질문에 손든 학생의 수도 확연히 달라졌을 거라 생각합니다. 한국은 어떤 점이 멋진 걸까요? 한류는 어떤 점이 멋진 걸까요? 오늘 강의에서 두 학생에게 같은 질문이 있었는데요. 마음과 달리 표현하는 것은 조금 어려워 보였습니다. 이번 강의를 다시 보고 한국과 한류에 대해 한번 생각해 보는 건 어떨까요? 오늘 강의는 여기까지입니다. 시청해 주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 강의를 해주신 샘리처드 교수님 정말 감사합니다.